And what is up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode, Big Loving Bass. Nice, overcasted, cool morning. Looks like it's probably gonna rain today. It's supposed to rain several days in the forecast for the week. It's supposed to be rain. I'm actually not complaining. Our water levels are real low. It's been super hot. This will cool off the water. So since it's a cooler day today, they should be pretty actively feeding. And since it's prefrontal, front's not supposed to hit till later on, they should be feeding up before that front hits. It's about 9 o'clock, about 5 minutes to 9 now. We're going to go spot up to a spot where I know they've been staging at and knock out our MTB slam for July. We got a drop shot, square bill, and a head and spook, super spook junior. Forgot the name of it really, but it's a spook style bait, popping spook style bait. And we're gonna knock those out. Before we get started, I'm gonna be completely honest. They had some split shot weights in the box this month, and I tried to rig them up, and I don't like them. So I'm not using those. I'm using the more traditional drop shot style weight for my drop shot. The way you're supposed to rig them is basically like you wrap your string around it 3 times, and it's supposed to be like a keeper in the middle of it on one side, and that's what's supposed to hold it. And every time I rigged it up and went to move it or just barely twitched the rod, it would fall off. So I'm not going to use that because I don't want to go without a weight. But we're still going to count the slam even if I catch it without that weight on there, if I don't knock out that weight, just because you can't use them if it's not going to stay on. So I got a traditional drop shot weight on for my drop shot, and everything else we're going to use. So give me a minute, I'm going to put on the GoPro. We're going to drop off anchor here in just a sec. I'll put on the GoPro and let's see how many we could bring in a short period of time. My son's gonna come out later and we're gonna ride him around on the boat too. I might film that, I'm not sure. But yeah, stay with me. So this is where we're gonna start. We found out from fish finder coming out through here a lot of times, there is a weed bed right along here. It's like an underwater forest, real tall weeds, some stumps, stuff like that. So since it is overcast and cool, we're going to start with this spook bait here and see if we can't get a couple of strikes on it. And I apologize if I don't set up the big camera. I just found out my tripod's broke. I'm going to have to get something new for that. But let's start. Basically I have this on a 6.6 medium action rod. Monofilament line. This thing has that popping mouth, so I'm gonna walk it and occasionally really get it to spit some water out. Alright, let's do a little update because I don't know how much successful video I have from my GoPro. This MTB slam is probably the worst MTB slam I've had since I started doing this. I mentioned before that the split shot weights that came in the box, I hated them, couldn't get them to stay. So I rigged something else up, those weights are gone. The square bill, my wife and son come out here. I was riding them around the lake and I was just messing around, threw it out. Technically, I guess you can say we knocked it out because I was actually just trolling with it. Just had the motor going full blast. So set it on 5, the little trolling motor. Let the crankbait crank out behind us and was just trolling with it basically. And I caught 2, one little dink and one about 3 pounds. I got a picture of it. I'll put it up probably in this corner here. And yeah, then on the way back to drop them off, I was doing the same thing. Hit a brush pile, couldn't stop the motor in time, and there it went. So I lost the crankbait. The drop shot hooks, I've gotten 2 bites on it, rigged up as a drop shot, but I really think the hooks are just too teeny tiny even for the fish to get it in the mouth because I missed both bites. So I've switched it over to a shaky head. we're gonna throw it out on a shaky head now. We'll try to knock it out too, I guess. And now the sun's came out, and a nice cloudy day that we were having, where it was nice and cool, has turned into a hot, still cloudy, but it's burning off my cloud cover, so I don't think they're gonna be busting the top water like they were. We'll see. I might try to knock out the heading, I might not. I might just switch over to the spinnerbait just so I have some catches really to put on camera for y'all, and go back to what I know they'll hit out here, and see how many we could put in the boat in the next 2 hours probably. It's it's about 10:48 now. I'm gonna fish till about 12, so about an hour, a little over an hour, 12:30, and then I'm gonna head in. So I'm gonna put on the GoPro again, and we'll see what we can do. Well, that's a little 1 pounder or so. There we go. Alright, I'm done. I'm done for today. Well, for now anyway. I might come out a little bit later with my dad, but anyway. Just a recap of today. What I thought was going to be a nice, overcast, cool, calm, good bite day turned into a partly cloudy, scorching hot, and no fish. We caught 3 and hung and lost 1. I had one to chase the swim jig all the way back to the boat, and I picked it up and it darted up under the boat. And I missed a couple on the way in, just grabbing the tail of the swim jig, not even taking the whole thing, probably small. But I'm dumbfounded. The place that I knew they were, they're not there. Or the 2 places where they usually are, they're not there, I should say. And they've been there for about 3 weeks. I don't know if maybe the overcast this morning kind of pushed them out, and now they're just now making the way back in. But it's too hot for me to keep going, and I got to get the boat on the charger. So we ran out of time. My GoPro's being stupid. It stopped working. And so it wound up just dying. I couldn't even turn it off. It just wound up dying on me. Not a terrible mystery tackle box. I'm not going to say the product in it was bad. I like the worm. I didn't like the split shots. I couldn't get them to work. I thought the drop shot hooks were too small for what I use them for. They were teeny tiny. They're probably good for like brim, crappie, maybe even smallmouths. You know, if you're into the panfish and stuff like that, they'd probably be amazing. They look like really good hooks, but for bass fish and largemouth anyway, I think they were just too tiny. So we put the worm on a shaky head, and we're successful with that. The crankbait, I couldn't get a bite until I was trolling with it, and I caught 2 on it. Of course, I didn't have the camera rolling, so I'll have to put a picture in there. But he was a solid 3.5, so that was nice. And it's just not a good time for a topwater bite, especially today, since the cloud cover's gone for the heading. I love the heading though. I think it walked amazing. It had really good water distribution. Whenever that open mouth, it would pop the water and create a lot of disturbance in the water. But overall, it's just not a good day to be using it out here today. So that's it. I'm done. Like I always say though, I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And follow me on social media websites if you're not. I'll leave links in the description below. And until next time, take lines to you. I'll see you in the future.